We continue now with the final critique. I'm on page 149 in your hymnals. The final critique now is this one about being old. This is the attack on the geriatric. If you've got it in your notes at level 1, and I hope that you do, you've got this situation now of, first of all, the attack on the nobility. That is to say, you know, you're a gentleman just because you're born into being a gentleman. The second is the attack on poverty and the notion of poverty. And now the third is this one about being old. That is to say, the geriatric attack. Let's go ahead and keep reading. Lastly, I'm on page 149, line 353 and following. Lastly, you taxed me, sir, with being old. Yet even if you never had been told by ancient books, you gentlemen engage yourselves in honor to respect old age. To call an old man father shows good breeding, and this would be supported from your reading. You say I am old and fouler than a fen. You need not fear to be cockled then. In other words, she makes a very interesting observation. Yeah, I am old, and yeah, I am but ugly. But the reality is, there's certain things now you don't have to worry about me. If you're married to a Victoria's Secret model, you always have to worry about me. Because when your pals come over, for example, to visit you, you're always going to wonder, are they visiting me or are they visiting my wife? Or, for example, when you got to go on a journey or something like that, you may worry leaving your wife back home because she's drop dead gorgeous. Never have to worry about that with me because I'm so butt ugly and old. You never have to worry about me being attracted to other men or other men being attracted to me. Notice, filth and old age, I'm sure you will agree, are powerful wardens upon chastity. Nevertheless, well knowing your delights, I shall fulfill your worldly appetites. You have two choices. Uh-oh, now here we go. Let's write it in our notes at level 1. You have two choices, she says. I'm going to give you a choice. You got an option here, okay? You have two choices. Which one will you try? To have me old and ugly till I die, but still a loyal, true, and humble wife that never will displease you all her life? Or would you rather I were young and pretty and chance your arm what happens in a city where friends will visit you because of me? Yes, and in other places too maybe. Which will you have? The choice is all your own. Now let's write this in our notes. She says, I'm going to give you a choice. She says, you can have me one of two ways. You can either have me old and butt ugly, but I'm going to be the best friend you ever had. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to be an amazing pal to you. That's one option. The other option is you can have me a Victoria's Secret model. I will be stunning in every way imaginable. I will walk into a room with you and every single person will look at me and go, oh man, that's the prettiest thing I ever saw. You can have me that way. The only problem, she says, is of course when you do take me into public, you may get a little jealous. If other guys, for example, start looking at me and making eyes at me. Or when you are away from me, you may be worried. Oh no, who's she with now? Who's she with now? So you get to choose. Do you want a girl that's drop dead gorgeous, right? Or do you want a girl that's not very good looking, but she's an amazing person? She says to her husband, the young knight, I give you the choice. Which one do you want? The knight thought long. I'm on 149. The knight thought long, and with a piteous groan at last he said, with all the care in life, my lady and my love, my dearest wife, I leave the matter to your wise decision. You make the choice yourself for the provision of what may be agreeable and rich in honor to us both. I don't care which. Whatever pleases you suffices me. So let's put it in our notes. The idea is a very simple one then. In other words, she says, listen, I will give you the option of saying either you have me drop dead gorgeous or you have me this amazing loyal friend. And the answer then is back from him, hey, listen, I'm going to let you choose for me. And she's going to say, whoa, wait, what did you just say? He's going to say, no. I can't make up my mind. I don't know if I want you drop dead gorgeous or if I want you to be average looking but an amazing friend to me. I'm going to let you decide. You figure it out. You tell me what you think I should have. Notice the old lady. And have I won the mastery? Said she. since I am to choose and rule as I think fit. Whoa, 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 now let's go back. What was it? That was the rule. All women most desire what? To be able to, right? Control their husbands, right? Notice here we have the same project in play. She goes, wait, wait, wait. So who's getting to make this decision, me or you? And he goes, certainly, wife, he answered her, that's it. She says, kiss me, she cried. No quarrels, on my oath and word of honor. You shall find me both, that is, both fair and faithful as a wife. May I go howling mad and take my life unless I prove to be as good and true as ever wife was since the world was new. And if tomorrow when the sun's above, I seem less fair than any lady love, top of 150, than any queen or empress east or west, do with my life and death as you think best. Cast up the curtain, husband. Look at me. So she says, oh, okay, here's the deal. You give me a kiss. And when you give me a kiss, let's just see what happens. She is going to become the most beautiful of all imaginable women, and she's going to be amazingly faithful and loyal to him. In other words, the best of both worlds. It's interesting that in some ways this is also a story about what is it that all men most desire? That you could make the argument that Chaucer is saying men most desire two things. The most beautiful woman in the world who is also the most loyal to the guy that he's in love with, that she's in love with. And when indeed, let's finish the story. And when indeed the knight had looked to see, lo, she was young and lovely, rich in charms, in ecstasy. He caught her in her arms. His heart went bathing in a bath of blisses and melted in 100,000 kisses. And she responded in the fullest measure with all that could delight or give him pleasure. So they lived ever after to the end in perfect bliss. And may Jesus Christ send us husbands meek and young and fresh in bed, and grace to overbid them when we wed. And Jesus, hear my prayer, cut short the lives of those who won't be governed by their wives. And all old angry niggards of their pence, the guys who don't want to give us our credit, the credit card, God send them soon a very pestilence. So our story then ends with the wife of Bath saying, the knight got everything he wanted, but he had to listen to the lecture first, right? And in the end of the lecture, he said to the woman, you decide for me. That is to say, we like, she says at the very end, to have husbands who will do what we tell them to do. That is to say, mastery, right? Now, the last thing I want to point out, just back really quickly on page 146. We have another one of these boxes, literature and context, that I'm sure you saw. I just want to review it really quickly. Self-same sovereignty. Let's make sure we understand this concept. The wife of Bath uses the story of the knight and the old woman to express her own belief in self-same sovereignty, or equality in marriage between a husband and wife. Whether such an idea meant that women shared ownership of property and family wealth, or whether it meant that they had an equal share in decision-making, such a belief was definitely well ahead of their times, right? In medieval England, women could inherit property only if there were no male heirs in the family. Usually, property was entitled or assigned to the male survivors, the women being left under the men's care until marriage or death. Moreover, at marriage, a woman was often required to renounce any further claims to her father's property. Often, any property she did bring to the marriage was immediately forfeited to her husband, leaving her with virtually no further claim to it. Only in 1857 did Great Britain's Married Women's Property Acts first allow a woman the right to property in her own name. Notice the connect to literature. The wife of Bath refuses to play a subordinate role in her society. In what ways does Chaucer's description of the wife of Bath, as well as her tale, suggest that she was an unusual woman for her time? No question. Well, there you go. An introduction to the wife of Bath's tale. Thank you.